Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. Today's show is brought to you by RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. HSV Inside Out is also brought to you by Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
Dennis Simpson here with my newfound best Texan friend, Miss Jan, Miss Nancy, Miss Dawn. Who let me in with Texas women, huh?
I'm telling you.
What are we going to do here in the Balboa Pavilion later?
Well, in October 19th
Right.
of this year, we are going to have
the Texan picnic.
It's called the Former Texan Fall Picnic.
Former
Within
Texan.
the HSV. It's all the people that have actually moved here from Texas.
Yeah.
They could be native.
Uh-huh.
They could be
Transplant. They could be transplants.
No, they could be naturalized. Okay. They could come from anywhere. Just, we've relocated here from Texas, but we'd like to think that it's native or naturalized.
So let me get the story here, Dawn. Basically, the bottom line is, if you have lived in Texas and you now live here, you can now be here,
You
right?
got it. Yep.
Okay, is this like a Baptist thing? You got to bring a covered dish, or how does this work?
No,
Actually,
it's going to
no.
be catered.
It's being catered by Riverside.
Down by the...
Riverside.
You're good, you're good. So what are we going to have? Catfish, or what are we having?
We have choices. We have chicken. We have some barbecue. We have catfish.
It's all right here.
And I don't think we're going to have the hush puppy. We're going to have coleslaw.
Uh-huh.
And people can bring desserts.
Oh, okay. So it's a BYOD, but the catering's already there, so
yes,
that's what you need.
And the drinks, iced tea and lemonade will be provided. Water will be provided. If they want anything else, they can bring their own drink.
Anything else meaning a drink?
A drink.
BYO your bottle, right? And your dessert, right?
That's correct.
Texans drink? Texans drink?
Not alcohol.
Not alcohol.
Everything's larger in Texas, so they bring it.
I'm getting where this is going, people. I'm getting where this is going.
There you go.
I want to make note. So you want to RSVP by October the 1st. And who do we RSVP to?
Me, Jan Grace.
Okay. And there's two N's, JANNGRACE.
At 2 Delgado Place in the village.
So we just come by your house and, well, no. So
You may not find anybody there, but no, just mail a check. And where it says memo, please put down the name of the people that are going to be attending.
Right.
And then they'll be just marked off at the registration table that the three of us will be at. at the event, and you will be given a ticket at that time. We do not mail tickets to anybody.
Okay.
And,
So, I'm
and
sorry.
it
yeah.
is $25.
It is $25 per person, whether you're an adult. Child is $10.
Yes.
Child is $10. If you're not going to eat, because we're going to have festivities, we're going to have a live band, we have to pay for the Balboa Pavilion. It's still going to cost you $25 to attend.
So even if you don't eat, it's $25.
That's correct.
Come on, pretty cheap, right?
Hey, you might as well eat.
You might as well eat. You might as well eat.
Get some good
so,
food.
So
Right.
October.
It's a picnic.
It's a picnic, but October 19th. What time does it start here?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock
And it goes until 4.
Until 4
goes
o'clock.
till 4.
And we'll have a 50-50 and a raffle right before the band plays. So
We'll have
you
some
know.
games to play.
Well, I had
we'll have
asked-
some dancing going on.
I had asked if I could be an honorary Texan for a day, and not so far.
For $25, you can.
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I'm not a Texan, but that's okay. Highway Harmony is going to be doing our music. And let me just recap here. Music begins at 1:30, raffle at 1 o'clock. And it's, as we say, catered by Riverside. Now, Riverside's not serving until 4. They're just about, 11:30 to 1:30?
No, we're closing the picnic at 4, so we better eat before.
You better be
then.
done by then.
I think on there it tells food served from 11:30 to 1:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who-
And then the band's going to start.
Okay, who came up with this? Number one, your group just reached out to me and said, hey, can we do a show? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure, this is a great cause. You know, the Iowans of all people, right?
Right.
The Iowans, I know, all the corn-fed people. Come on, where are you Texans at, right?
Well, our leader is Vicki Didion, and she did this before in 2017-18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had COVID, so we couldn't do it again.
Yeah,
So
we
this
had
is
it
the
all
second
planned.
time.
We had everything
Yeah.
all set.
So
until
this is
COVID
a
hit.
second attempt, and hopefully we get everybody here.
How many people you think you're going to have? Yeah, y'all have a committee and everything.
Yeah,
to
we
make
do.
it
Well,
happen.
We've been planning this
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
I'd say 100 to 200 if we
Yes.
can
We're hoping
get
for
it.
3.
Yeah.
Hoping for 300.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
praying.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of Baptists from Texas.
No. It's more of a Catholic thing. It's what it sounded like. It's,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But let me go back for just a second,
Sure,
because
please.
when this was organized several years ago by Vicki, we've changed the logo here, but Karen what's her name? Karen, wait a minute.
Lund something?
Lundberger.
Yes.
Lundberg. Anyway, Karen Lundberg, she actually was orchestrating this, and she came down with COVID, and unfortunately she did pass away.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
this really is in honor of her.
How sweet.
Yeah, but we've kind of taken a different road, but you know what? It's all about Karen. It's really not about us, but she really got this thing going, but we had to stop, and now we're getting it back going, but we want to honor her too.
And it's
We
funny.
have a lot of Texans here in the
Yes.
village.
I hear tell. We're talking to you, Randy Cantrell. Well, and that's just what I hear tell. But no, I mean, you can't swing a dead cat. And well, anyway, there's just a lot of Texans. And Karen Lundberg, I remember her, and what a sweet lady. And you know, we look back. It's just been a few years.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
my
And
goodness.
we have a Facebook group, and it's in her memory too, because she started the Facebook group.
Really?
And so it's I think it's called the Texans Fall Picnic or something like
Yeah.
that.
Something like
Texans
that. And the
Picnic.
other thing too, just so you know, this is going on a podcast, even though some of us live here,
Right.
there are people that do own property here, and they're certainly invited to come too.
That's what I was going to say. We have a lot of non-resident owners, or
Yeah,
the
exactly.
people across the street from me on Sierra, wonderful people. I said, they bought the home, they moved in, they have a view over our house looking down at the lake, and it's a really nice, they got a little front patio and everything. And I said, how's this working for you, Jim? He said, you know, we got here, and the more time we spent here, we were like, I think there's a house over on Cortez we're going to buy. So when you're close enough to the lake or to the Gulf or to the view or to whatever, you're like, man, I think we want to just spend more time here, because there's not a good reason. There's not a good reason.
Exactly.
If y'all haven't seen this, and I'll refer back to Randy real quick, Randy has made note that moving from Bedford, Texas to Murillo over here in Hot Springs Village, just a straight move, not less insurance, not more, not da-da-da-da-da, has saved him $22,000 a year.
Wow.
And property taxes and insurance and just incidentals. And he's like, it's so much cheaper. Not only that, we got a brand new house with what we sold our old one for, and a good deal left over. Have I told you the story of Brad Beaumont? Talking to you, Brad.
No.
Brad Beaumont, 4 years ago, Brad texts me and he says, is it really like it's supposed to be, like you say it is? I said, well, yeah. And I said, well, number one, it is, but what do you mean? He said, is it really the crime that low? Are the people really that nice? And I went through the whole thing. I said, yeah, and the cost of living's low and blah, 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 blah. And he said, okay. 3 weeks later, I see a picture of him out the front of a Winnebago with his wife holding their dog and all their worldly possessions in the back of that Winnebago.
Oh, that's funny.
And to which I texted him immediately and said, don't you think you want to visit first? And he's like, no, we've sold everything.
Yeah.
They moved here. They bought a house on DeSoto Golf Course. They bought another house on DeSoto Golf Course. They bought another house on DeSoto Golf Course. They bought another house on DeSoto Golf Course.
Airbnb?
Well, no. Well, they do long-term rentals, but that's the cost of one Southern California home for very modest people.
For sure.
Yeah, that they were able to move and translate like that. And so you can see why Texans are doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, where did you come from, Jan, if I can? What part of Texas?
Well, the Woodlands.
Yeah.
I lived in Spring, Texas, and then the Woodlands, and then Willis, Texas.
Really?
I was there for 30 years.
And how did you make it to the village?
I visited a couple that moved here. It took one weekend. I had just bought a brand new house right from the real estate agent.
In where? In here or in Texas?
Texas, in Willis. And I was a real estate agent as well, selling houses there. Took one weekend. Bought the house here, and I went, I guess I have to go back and sell my house, my husband's condo, and the lot that we just bought next door so nobody would move there.
Move into it, yeah.
And I sold all three in 48 hours. I went,
did you really?
Here I come.
Thank
Arkansas,
you, Jesus.
I'm here.
Lord Almighty. What a story, Jan. Dawn, let's hear yours if we can.
Well, I'm from Plano, Texas.
Not Deluxe, Texas.
No.
Plano, Texas.
Plano, Texas. And I also lived in Carrollton in there, but I lived for 35 years in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
And I had been in an accident, and I was on my fourth operation, and I was getting cabin fever, and we said, let's go somewhere. And I said, well, somewhere, I think I have a little card from some place called Hot Springs Village, and I found it. And so we were here for 2 days, and the first day we said, can we look at houses? And we had a house in 3 days.
Did you really? How long ago was that, if I can?
We've been here 16 years.
16 years. I
Yes.
thought you were going to say 3 or 4 years. And Jan, I didn't ask
I
how long.
moved here in 2014.
Really? So you've been about roughly the same time too?
I moved in 2016.
Really?
Okay.
Would you like another little trivia?
Oh, of course. No, I want to hear your story too. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just going to give you a little piece of trivia. I grew up in Arkansas, in El Dorado, Arkansas.
Thank you, Jesus. A blessed one. A blessed
I'm
one right
telling
here.
you. Well, my dad was from Arkansas. My mother was from Kansas, and they met in the Army. And my dad one day picked up and said,
Hang on.
we're moving.
Hang on 1 second. We had to let Bubba go by. Okay, so one day your dad came home and said,
One day my dad came home and told my mother, we're going home, we're going to Arkansas. And we all picked up and moved. And I mean, our whole family was there. My grandparents, my mother's parents moved.
Yeah.
My brother, my dad's
the extended
brother.
family and everything.
Everybody. We just thought we all moved at the same time. But here's where I was going with this. I went to El Dorado High School. I graduated in the 60s.
In a number in there.
Yes, there's a number in there. And when all of this was being developed, I was in high school.
Were you really?
Yes. And
Really?
this started out as a man's dream.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I would live here because I don't play golf.
Yeah.
You know, but this is, I call it, this is God's country.
It is God's country.
Paradise.
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 It's not paradise, but you can see it from here. It's in the same zip code.
Yes.
Okay, it is the same paradise.
And Arkansas really is an inexpensive place to live.
It's very inexpensive, and I try to explain to people. I've been on national radio programs for NPR and heard by millions of people, literally. And I'll tell them there is a value. There's a number of people versus quality of lifestyle.
Yes.
And it's a 1-to-1 correlation. You can bring in more people, but the quality of lifestyle goes down. And all of a sudden people say things like, wow, the traffic's awful. Well, you brought everybody in. What are you thinking, you know? Here, we have tractor jams now and then, but it's not bad. But all that to say, it really is the component. It's the base component. So you lived in Texas when you moved from El Dorado to Texas?
Well, I actually moved from El Dorado. Well, I moved to Little Rock, and then I moved to Texas in Dallas. Then I had a job that took me to Nashville, Tennessee for a year.
Yeah.
And then I went to San Diego, California for 4 months with my job.
Her carbon footprint is terrible.
And I ended up in Dallas, Texas.
Really?
I did. And it was the best move I could have ever made. I had a wonderful career in healthcare. In fact, one of our biggest sponsors is Cigna.
I saw that.
I want
How
to
do you
plug
do
that
that?
in. I actually worked for Cigna before it ever became Cigna. It was INA, Insurance of North America,
Yep.
in Connecticut
remember them.
General.
Yeah.
And I even have a little medallion that is
That you
symbol
worked
of
there.
this. I worked there for almost 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I retired from there.
I'm gonna give y'all a little teaser that I think will really apply, and y'all will listen in, I hope. Randy and I are getting ready very soon to do a show, and I'm gonna call it "Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes?" Because my friends, as you and the workforce here have stepped out in the last decade or so, I've noticed people just don't know what they're doing. And I'm not being the crotchety old man that says, "Oh, these kids these days, blah blah." No. The next generation does not have the wealth of knowledge. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? They do not have the wealth of knowledge that it takes. My wife and works at a CPA firm. They hired a girl with an accounting degree, fresh out of college, been out of college a couple of years, smart girl, very nice, couldn't be any nicer. I'm going to answer the phone. Hello? And the people on the other end would go, "Is this the CPA firm?" And she would say, yeah, what do you need? She had zero professional skills, zero. Now, in Little Rock, we used to have a drawn school of business.
Yes.
And it was up on University. They had it downtown for a while, but they would teach people how to be businessy. We literally had to give this lady a series of YouTubes so she could say, "Hello, and thank you for calling XYZ CPA firm. How can I help you today?" We have a whole generation that just
That's
doesn't.
because they learn everything on the computer, and if you don't press a button, it doesn't happen.
She makes a point.
And they're always on their cell
Back to our
phones.
point. Back to our point.
Yeah.
Okay.
The HSV, former Texans, and hang on, let me see this real quick. I'm going to cover this for you real quick. HSV, former Texans, and recovering 12-step Texans and part-time Texans will join us. If I was close, I didn't mean to. I think that's what
Good
that
ad
said. October the 19th from 11 to 4. It's been a pleasure, ladies. It really
has
has.
been
Nancy,
great.
Jan,
Thank you.
pleasure.
joining us.
Don, thank you. Next time we're here, this place will be full, right?
It will be.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It looks like Texan. It will look like
Look,
Texan.
see, they can even make annoying doities. For HSV Inside Out, I'm Dennis Simpson. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.